gonna go be on the next episode of Jeopardy. I'm gonna go golfing tomorrow. Probably.
A lot of people are saying that he threw this game on purpose.
Like, what is it called? The longest yard or something?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you throwing the games for us?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Heavily Contested Podcast, the podcast where Raiders! As you can tell, Raider fans excited everywhere, thinking they're going to go to the Super Bowl again this year.
We are going to the Super Bowl. I told you guys. I told them, bro. Didn't I tell them? I told them. A lot of people, let me just go a little crazy here, guys. I gotta tell you guys everything that happened, because a lot of people, they don't understand. Like, how did the Ravens lose? I told y'all. Y'all been saying Lamar is gonna run for 200 yards on us, even though they don't have Marcus Peters. They don't have any of their running backs.
They're all hurt.
And on top of that, I believe Rashad Bateman was a little banged up.
Bateman wasn't there?
Yeah. So, it is. I don't know why you guys are disrespecting the Raiders so much. Can you give us some respect? That's all I need. I just need respect.
It's an injured Ravens squad still.
Yes.
In the end.
Yeah. So
in the end, we can't overreact from this game.
We're not overreacting.
We can't.
I'm happy because so many people disrespect us so much that they still thought we were gonna lose this game. That's what I'm happy about.
I'll mention it too. The Raiders were definitely my biggest surprise. I like the way they executed their game plan defensively, especially Max Crosby, 2 sacks, I believe. I believe he had 2 sacks and then he had a quarterback hurry. One thing though, offensively, it was kind of rough. I have to say, in the
beginning, it was very rough.
Derek Carr was very inconsistent. Here's the one thing I have to say for the Raiders: you beat a Ravens team that, yes, it's hyped up, but it is also injured, especially defensively with Marcus Peters out. Which obviously they took advantage of at the end, you could tell, because his replacements were getting burnt. But one thing I do have to say is offensively, Derek Carr has to be more consistent or this team is not going to go anywhere with the way he played.
That's something that
we
always have a struggle with.
With the way he played. He was off on many of his throws that you felt like he should have hit, or else this game could have been it could have been just an easier win for the Raiders.
Yeah.
But a win's a win. So
I'm going to give you guys this quick elaboration, and then I'll let Dro talk about his Niners, who had a okay game, okay? So first off, what we got to stop is the Max Crosby hate, okay? That's the first thing we got to get rid of. Because a lot of people, I like Nick Bosa, all right? Nick Bosa is great. Max Crosby, you ain't got to say he's better. I don't care. You don't got to say that. But don't act like Nick Bosa is here and Max Crosby is here. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm not here for none of that. Let's also remember that Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Nick Bosa, and Max Crosby was second runner-up. Max Crosby had way better stats, but Nick Bosa was on a better team, and that's winning the game. Now, let me read you the stats very quickly. Max Crosby had 93 pressures. Nick Bosa had 80. This is Defensive Rookie of the Year stats. 11 sacks for Max Crosby, 10 sacks for Nick Bosa. They both had the same amount of tackles. The only difference between the two of them is that Nick Bosa was on a better team. Max Crosby was not. So that's one.
Bosa also had an interception that year.
That's one interception.
Did Max Crosby have any?
No, he didn't have an interception.
And Nick Bosa was also getting double teamed because he was pulling the attention.
Not on the edge. Not on the edge. You're not getting double teamed all the time.
All right, no.
Anyways, all right, next part. Next part. Now we got Derek Carr. People need to stop saying Derek Carr is bad. He's not bad. The only thing about Derek Carr is he can outplay any quarterback in the league. But at the same time, he can play worse than some terrible quarterbacks.
I do think Derek Carr is much better than people have, but he can't outplay every quarterback in the league.
He outplayed Patrick Mahomes. He just outplayed Lamar Jackson.
In one game.
In one game. Okay. I'm saying in that game. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, keep going.
But then in the next game, he could play worse than Zach Wilson. He could play worse than Tyrod Taylor. He could play worse than Trevor Lawrence. but he can also play just as good as Patrick Mahomes. So let's not forget about that. And also, I want to tell you guys this. Jonathan Abram is not the safety that you had last year. Last year, he was the up-top safety that had to do everything.
Yep.
But now he's in the box. So just forget about last year. We got a new defensive coordinator, Gus Bradley, and he's not going to let that happen anymore. So
defense
the
definitely
defense
deserves
has stepped
credit.
up. We have a D-line now. We could get pressure. So just be aware of the Raiders. We actually have a defense now, so y'all should be scared.
Defense deserves credit. But it's week 1.
It is week 1.
Let's slow down on the brakes now. Let's talk about, because if Max Crosby all of a sudden doesn't finish out the year like he did last year, where he just doesn't get any sacks, it's then what's the discussion? Is it still that he's on Nick Bosa's level?
I still think he is.
That's
not going to happen because last year we had nobody else to help him. Okay. Now there's some dudes that can help him.
But
out.
just let's slow down on the week 1 things here. You know what I mean? Because the problem with week 1, what we see with like a lot of analysis and just really everyone, is that everything just gets blown out of proportion, right? Everyone just starts coming up with these predictions. Let's slow down. But credit to the Raiders. They won a great game. The Ravens, on the other hand, scary because it looks like those injuries are actually going to start affecting them. Yeah. And they just got an O-lineman injury yesterday as well, and we saw how bad that O-line played yesterday. It could be a rough season for the Ravens. I still think they're a playoff team, but it sucks when you see a Super Bowl contender.
Now that Super Bowl prediction for both of us.
But let's see. Again, week 1.
I don't care. I'm going to say it right now. I'll say it right now. They're not winning the Super Bowl. Didn't
have them winning the Super Bowl. I had them going to the Super Bowl. I'm still thinking that there's still a chance for that. We got to let this team adjust. They just had some big hits right now in the thing. We saw Latavius Murray by the end of the game start to get in rhythm with this Ravens offense. It's just let this team adjust. Give it time. Don't totally throw the Super Bowl out the window. But it does suck when you see a Super Bowl contender not be able to play up to their full potential with injuries. Moving on. The Niners-Lions game. We knew what was going to happen there.
We knew what was going to happen.
My Niners went into Detroit and absolutely obliterated them. Got interesting by the end. But there's an easy explanation for that. It happened once Jason Verrett tore his ACL. Unfortunately, tore his ACL.
He tore his ACL?
Yeah.
And I thought it was a light injury.
No, Jason Verrett tore his ACL for now the second time in his career. So this will be the 3rd season now where he's going to be out for the entire season off an injury, which sucks.
So let's talk about this corner situation for you guys, okay? The opposite corner for you guys, the entire game was getting lobs thrown to him by nobody receivers.
Well, here's the thing: they weren't driving the ball until Verrett went out because then we put in 27.
Yeah, so both of your corners now are a little sus.
No. Here's the one thing I'll say: I think Emmanuel Mosley is still gonna do good. I've been high on Emmanuel Mosley when we made that Super Bowl run because there was a reason why he was in, and he wasn't the one getting burned in that Super Bowl. We know it was Sherman who got exposed.
Sherman's slow, though.
Sherman got exposed for his speed a little bit at his age. I still think Emmanuel Mosley is there, and here's the thing.
What about the other side?
That's why we picked up Josh Norman. So we got to rely on Norman a little bit, and it's been up in the air that we do take Sherman back with a bit of a veteran presence. Which is not a bad pickup. I know I just bashed on him a second ago, which may seem off, but in the end, that was just one game. Sherman still, even last year, played fairly well because he's a smart quarterback. Sherman makes up for his lack of speed now with his intelligence. So it'd be helpful to the Niners to have someone like that, but definitely they're going to be out looking for another DB. And also, I would say this. Much like how the Rams made a big trade for Ramsey, don't be surprised if the Niners make a big trade up here.
Stephon Gilmore.
With their future, they make some big first-round pick trades to get a defensive back. Don't be surprised.
You should.
Just don't be surprised. I don't think it's as detrimental though, because here's the thing: with a good D line, a secondary can survive.
You guys have a great D line.
A secondary
is terrible right now.
But it's not terrible. We still got Jaquiski Tartt and we got Jimmy Ward at the 2 safeties right now. We got K'Wan Williams at the slot corner, which I think he's a great slot corner. Again, and Emmanuel Mosley, don't give me that look. Emmanuel Mosley, and just got to figure out the other cornerback position right now. I do think Josh Norman or whoever we might pick up will take that spot. Thing is, he's laughing like it, but he's laughing like I'm crazy, but I'm not. In the end, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, at our linebacker positions, we're set. We're set defensively in the end still. And with a good D-line, any secondary can still work because that quarterback's going to be under duress, under pressure. So I'm not going to be... It sucks, though, that Verrett... I'm more just upset that Verrett, for his career, got hurt like that.
This one thing I want to touch on. Debo stepped up big time.
Yes, Debo
stepped up big time. Now, also, is George Kittle going to be more into the game plan next week? Because Debo looked like he could just take over the game, and you guys don't even need to throw to George Kittle.
Here's the truth, though. We heard complaint. I was watching it complain because you see how much the Raiders throw to Darren Waller?
Yeah, they don't throw the ball to George Kittle. I want to
see that with Kittle.
They don't do it.
Why not, though?
I don't know.
Why not? Because Travis Kelce gets that attention. Waller gets that attention.
It's kind of like the way they feed the ball, like Keenan Allen and Devontae Adams, like they literally just give them the ball and let them do what they want to do.
Get in rhythm. You know, they don't do that for Kittle. So I want to start seeing that for Kittle. But either way, and credit to the Lions, you know, when we took out our starters, you know, they started to make a comeback, which shows that they're still
they still have promise.
They're still just they're a solid NFL team. But let's be honest here. Let's not blow it out of proportion too. The Niners took out all their defensive starters because Verrett got hurt, and then other guys started getting hurt. Al-Shaair, the linebacker who was playing a great game for the Niners as well. They took him out because they didn't want any injuries. And when
we had a great stop at the end, though.
They did, because I want to give credit to the starters because when they went back in, still being cold because they haven't played at all, they still made a key stop, which is, hey, that shows that you're still, you know.
One thing I will say, George Kittle sold pretty hard. Debo,
I don't think he sold.
When he just
didn't
catch the onside kick?
Yes, yes. Actually, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
yes.
that was a pretty hard sell. Mm-hmm. Debo, I'm not gonna give. That's not a sell. You just gotta be more aware. He's still young.
Good awareness. He is young. 9 receptions for 189 yards and a touchdown for Debo. It's kind of hard to be mad at him when he has a game like that.
Yeah, but I will say I feel like if Matthew Stafford was still on that team, they would have tied up that game.
Of course.
Jared Goff.
Goff. In the end, though, Jared Goff, 338 yards, a touchdown. He had one interception, but that was because of the pressure that the pressure that the D-line put on. Jared Goff got hit as he threw it, so the ball was just thrown short right into Dre Greenlaw's hands. Again, with a good D-line, a defense is always going to succeed.
You guys blew them out, though. Let's be honest. You guys blew them out, but let's not take out the starters that early in the game.
I'm so upset that the Niners just seem so injury prone. But in the end, also worth mentioning, Elijah Mitchell came in because Raheem Mostert got hurt in the second play of the game. Rushed for 104 yards on 19 carries.
Raheem Mostert's out for a while, too.
Yeah, but here's the thing I'm going to say about that, too. If you're just a team with a good rushing game, any running back's going to succeed.
Yeah, you guys have a great O-line.
Elijah Mitchell's a rookie, which means he's young. His legs are fresh. And we got a great O-line that's just going to leave gaping holes, you know, on any defense, you know, with outside runs. That's really where we succeed is the stretch plays. Elijah Mitchell should succeed, or any other running back who takes over. We did draft Trey Sermon as well from Ohio State, who I think can really fit into this offense well. Worth mentioning as well, Jimmy Garoppolo, 17 to 25, 314 yards and a touchdown. Solid game from Jimmy Garoppolo. Actually, more than solid. That was a great game from Jimmy Garoppolo. And hopefully, as he stays healthy, we could see more of that consistency. To move on, Cowboys-Bucks. A much closer game than I predicted, but Travis
I said it was going to be an overtime game, but it was pretty much an overtime game.
It was close fourth quarter game.
Yeah.
One thing he was off on though was Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott came out firing.
Travis predicted Dak Prescott to have a rough game. My prediction was that Dak Prescott was going to have 3 touchdown passes, 300 yards passing, and he was going to have no interceptions. I was wrong there. I was wrong there. He had 1 interception, but that was off of CeeDee Lamb's hands. CeeDee Lamb should have caught that pass. CeeDee Lamb looked good, and he shows inconsistency still. He's still...
Amari Cooper's becoming that wide receiver 1.
Well, he always was.
But it wasn't like that big of a gap, though. Now he's starting to be like, no, I'm wide receiver 1. You guys are 2 and 3.
Also, to our prediction, Antonio Brown. We knew.
That's it.
We called it. Antonio Brown is going to be the Bucs' best receiver.
Mike Evans, oh my God.
Hey, why though? Because it's Antonio Brown.
And don't forget about
Don't
Antonio
forget him.
Brown.
He has a year now under Tom Brady, so he's gonna.
He was worried about other stuff going on in his life. And
No,
now he's back on football.
Their connection is gonna be unreal this year. Tom Brady had 2 interceptions, but I think those aren't on him.
Nah.
Those were off of drops.
Honestly, the Bucs.
And also the last one was a Hail Mary, so that was just a throw up. He knew he was ready to throw an interception there anyways. He was gonna just give it a shot. The other one, Leonard Fournette, had a rough game, rushing wise, and he also.
Oh my God, Zeke. Zeke did nothing.
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott. Here's the thing, though. I do want to say that's a great Bucs D line.
Great Bucs D line, but Zeke is also he can catch the ball too.
Yeah, they didn't use him. They didn't use him like I thought they would. Sometimes with a guy like Zeke, you want to give him touches though.
Just give him the ball.
So again, I'm not gonna blow it out of proportion. It's week 1. I'm just commenting on what we saw and what this could possibly foretell and what they got to improve on. Ezekiel Elliott needs more touches. You need to get him in rhythm, catching the ball and running the ball. But if you can't get him going running, get him in the passing game because we still know that him in the open field can still be dangerous. Moving on, Eagles Falcons.
Oh man, so entertaining game. That was like one of the greatest games I've ever seen in my life.
Travis,
like for real, bro. Falcons suck.
We were both wrong with our predictions there.
Falcons suck.
Yeah, we were both wrong with our predictions.
But I did tell you guys that Kyle Pitts is not that amazing. You guys, all the analysts are just like, oh my gosh,
Travis is riding very high on the fact that Kyle Pitts might not be who everyone thinks he is. I'm not ready to say that at all. I still think he is a good talent, but offensively, first of all, the O-line was getting absolutely destroyed.
By the Eagles?
Here's the thing. Let's not blow it out of proportion for the Eagles. Although, Jalen Hurts deserves credit.
He did have a good
Devontae
game.
Smith deserves credit. Mm-hmm. The rookie came out with a good first game.
Not bodybuilders.
The Eagles' first-round draft pick last year, Jalen Reagor, had a good game. Mm-hmm. Eagles showing promise. Do I think that all of a sudden because of this, they're going to still be a best team in the end? No. I don't think they're on the Cowboys level. And still, this might sound crazy, but I still think the Giants have more potential than the Eagles. More potential than the Eagles with the defense that the Giants have. And if that offense could get going with Saquon really leading the helm there. Moving on. Steelers, Bills. We were both wrong with our predictions here. We both had
Honestly,
the Bills.
I didn't expect Ben Roethlisberger. He could still play. This is one of my surprises that I had.
Here's the thing: Ben Roethlisberger can last like early on in the season, but then
after a while, his arm starts getting tired. He starts getting injured. Yeah, but Ben Roethlisberger, I thought that this was like his last season, but he could still play another season after this. After what I've seen, it still looks like he has the potential to maybe last even 2 seasons after this. He can still move around in the pocket. He's not really worried. He don't fold under pressure because he's such a big dude. He don't really care if you send 5 dudes at him. It's not going to hurt.
Yes.
So he's just going to throw it. And Steelers played well.
Defensively. I think the defense has to be given credit. Of course, TJ Watt, great game. Just the whole D-line. And now they got Melvin Ingram. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that D-line was just all over Josh Allen. And it gave the offense time to get rhythm. Yeah. When you have a defense that good, even if your offense isn't doing too well, you keep them in the game, and then the offense finally broke through. Yeah. I did say Najee Harris was going to have a bad game. Why? Because that O-line is awful. Again, it's not on Najee Harris.
It's going to take a while for him to
it's a rough situation for him.
Also, I got to say this last thing. Josh Allen is not Lamar Jackson. Why do they keep doing QB draws with Josh Allen?
Yes.
I don't understand this. Mm-hmm. He's 6'5", I understand, but at the same time, you don't want your quarterback taking hits.
Yes.
He can't avoid the hits, so I don't know what the Bills are doing with that, but I think that's very dumb.
Next game, Vikings-Bengals. We were both wrong on this one.
This was the most exciting game, too. Like, this was right after
This is one of my surprises. Mm. This is one of my biggest game surprises. More because I'm also disappointed in the Vikings. I mean, the fact that it was in this game. But here's the thing. Joe Burrow, I wasn't expecting him to come back off an ACL injury and play this well. Jamar Chase had a great game after having a rough preseason. Kind of shut everyone up for a game, man. He looked really good. Especially with his route running, he was just able to get open. And then you saw how he just burned someone in cover 3. Yep. He just blew right by him. Yep. Bengals deserve credit, man. Joe Mixon, it's still a good offense. I just don't think defensively And here's the thing, Dalvin Cook with a huge fumble in overtime that kind of lost in the game, which you don't expect. Kirk Cousins
Not out of Dalvin.
Kirk Cousins also played a great game. It's going to probably be held on Kirk Cousins, but in the end, 36 of 49, 351 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. No interceptions.
I'm still not a believer in Kirk
Of course,
Cousins.
but then I don't get why he's going to get hate for this game probably, even though, what? You're going to say it's a bad game?
It wasn't a bad game.
It wasn't a bad game?
I'm still not.
It was actually a great game because he kept him in it. Thielen also had a great game with 9 receptions, 92 yards,
Justin
and 2 touchdowns.
Jefferson, didn't I call this that Justin Jefferson was not going to have a great year. Now he can still back out. He can come back and have a great game next game.
He had a rough first game, but
I'm saying this, I don't think Justin Jefferson is going to be one of the top receivers in the league this year.
we'll see. And then Joe Mixon deserves credit, 127 yards rushing and a touchdown. So again, good Bengals offense. Do I think this is going to last throughout the season? I still don't think so. But the Bengals can be a team to watch out for as a spoiler in the season. You know what I mean?
They
could ruin
take
other
a
teams.
good team out of the playoffs.
Yes, because the team might underrate them still. Cardinals Titans.
Man, I'm not the Cardinals. This was a big surprise to me.
Travis, surprisingly,
I had them as one of the best teams in the league ahead of this game, but they came out and even surprised me even more.
Yes. Well, Travis, surprisingly, having predicted them to beat,
I said this.
He didn't pick them to beat the Titans this game, even though I did. Even though I'm riding high on Derrick Henry and the Titans always.
But, man, I thought the Titans would have came out. I did think that Julio was going to come out slow, which he did. But the whole Titans offense came out slow, and that led to a loss.
We're underrating. I think people have really underrated over the years how good Chandler Jones is.
Okay, yeah. Chandler Jones, no, he just came off a torn ACL, though. So I didn't think, and he's getting a little older, so I didn't think that he was going to come out and be great. He came out and had the best defensive game of the entire week.
Yeah.
Nobody played better than him.
No one played better.
J.J. Watt didn't have to do anything. 5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles?
Yeah.
That's crazy. He literally destroyed the Titans offense. They couldn't do anything.
No, he was. And J.J. Watt was helping in the run game. That D-line is scary. Isaiah Simmons was finally getting playing time now as a starter.
They still have Buda Baker.
And we know what Isaiah Simmons' potential is as a linebacker with that speed and that height and that size. Buda Baker. Cardinals defense might be much better than we thought. And we already knew Kyler Murray was good.
Kyler Murray and D-Hop. D-Hop still had a great game,
and they still got A.J. Green. Christian Kirk. Chase Edmonds had a great game on only 12 carries. He still had 63 yards on 12 carries, which is a great run per yards per carry.
James Conner as their backup.
James Conner as a backup. Kyler Murray, we knew Kyler Murray was going to take another step. We both predicted it. This was even a bigger step than even I thought of.
Yeah, this was great.
And the Titans, I'm not going to get too.
I will say, though, I think the Titans' O-line needs some work.
It does.
Because there's no way that Chandler Jones should
But
get
here's the
5
thing.
sacks.
Here's what I'm going to say. Taylor Lewan was also coming off a big injury, and this was his first game.
It's the same. Him and Chandler Jones are on the same level.
Yeah.
You got to be able to win those matchups.
Yeah. So, but I don't think that this is going to last for the Titans where they're just going to be, rough. Let's just say this. Speaking of the next game, the Texans aren't going to be first in the division for that long. No. So Texans won against the Jaguars. Again, Jacksonville, we know
are like the worst team in the league.
Jacksonville, we know has issues. Trevor Lawrence had a rough first game, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Texans, and let's not blow it up proportion. The Texans still aren't a great team, I don't believe. But credit to Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor is the guy you want to see win. He did great, 291 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Mark Ingram, also just a likable guy, 85 yards rushing and a touchdown. Brandon Cooks, who's been an underrated receiver.
Very underrated.
His entire career. He's had 1,000-yard receiving years every year of his career except for one. And no one talks about it. Had 132 yards receiving. So, and the Jaguars offense did much worse than I thought they were going to do.
They don't got nobody.
Just they couldn't move the ball. Urban Meyer's debut game in the pro.
Their best receiver's name is Laviska.
But he's good.
What is a Laviska? Laviska Shenault? What type of name is that?
Laviska Shenault, I still think is good. In the end, Jaguar I feel like had the pieces, but man, they just can't. They're still trying to put it together. So, yes. just don't blow this out of proportion for the Texans. They're
Jaguars suck, and the Texans suck as well.
Yes.
It's
just two bad teams going at it. Seahawks Colts.
Okay, Seahawks Colts. I'm not gonna lie to you. This game was kind of boring to me.
Well, Seattle can really
sometimes they really bore me. But at the same time, I did expect this to happen. This showed in this game that the same thing happened last year is going to happen this year. Tyler Lockett's going to go off one game. DK is going to do nothing.
Yeah.
Then the next game, DK is going to go off. Yeah. Tyler Lockett's going to do nothing.
And it pretty much happened the same way. Tyler Lockett had an incredible game. 2 touchdowns, 100 yards receiving. Russell Wilson had a Russell Wilson-esque game. 254 yards passing and 4 touchdown passes. Carson Wentz had a good game in his debut for Indianapolis. 225 of 38, 251 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns. The problem is the receivers for the Colts. When Jonathan Taylor is your leading rusher at 56 yards, and he's also your leading receiver at 60 yards.
Yeah, they have no receivers. I think their best receiver is Zach Pascal.
But here's the one, Zach Pascal. But here's the one thing I'm going to say. I know they lost the game. They're going to have a rough one this week, which I'll get into. I still think the Colts... I had the Colts winning the division with Carson Wentz healthy.
He's kind of healthy.
Carson Wentz is kind of getting back into shape a little bit, and they're going to get Quinn Nelson, I imagine, down the line a little bit.
That's going to make a difference.
I still expect this Colts team, now with Carson Wentz, if Carson Wentz is to stay healthy... Let me just say that. If Carson Wentz stays healthy, they win the division. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't... which it's almost like 50-50 a little bit with Carson, they won't win the division. So it all depends on Carson. He's the X factor. Would you agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Next game, Chargers-Washington. Travis, we know, is very high on this Washington defense. Chase Young.
Now, I'm going to say this. Justin Herbert didn't come out. He didn't impress me that much this game. He does have a lot of hype going into this season because a lot of people... he just won Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Deservingly so.
But at the same time, he is a rookie. Coming off of his rookie season, he's a sophomore now. You can't expect him to just, boom. He will have some rough times along the way.
Teams always have, sophomore year, teams start to figure it out a little bit more.
Yeah, so teams will study him a little bit.
But
Keenan Allen had a great game.
As we expect from Keenan Allen.
Fitzpatrick is gone. That's going to affect the football team a lot.
Funny enough, here's the one thing I'm going to say. First of all, Fitzpatrick, I think, has been underrated his whole career. He has been a viable starter. Teams just are afraid to stick with him.
Yeah.
Though, Taylor Heineke played good for the time that he was in.
Played good.
And Taylor Heineke played good in the playoff game last year.
Yeah.
Run that he had. I don't think Washington's season is totally thrown out the window with Fitzpatrick out. Taylor Heineke still shows potential to be a viable starter for this team.
The only thing I'm saying is the playoffs is kind of hard to see with the quarterback that they have. Heineke got to be 30 and worse for the quarterback.
Right now, yeah, but if he keeps playing like this...
If he gets better, I mean, teams didn't practice for him. They didn't study for him.
Of course. So let's see with the team that game plans for him. This will be his first time probably going against a team that game plans for him fully. Yeah. Because even in the playoff game, Alex Smith was expected to play and didn't at the last minute. But one thing I have to say for Justin Herbert, yes, he had a rough start.
Yeah.
But what I like about Herbert is that he didn't let that get to his head, and he finished well. And he led a drive that gave him the lead to win 20-16. So credit to Herbert there. Next game, Jets-Panthers.
Oh, my, Dro, no, this was one of them games where I was like, dude, like, I love the Jets. I love the Panthers. Like, this is one of the greatest games I've ever seen.
You had me for a second, man.
Man, had you in the first half, man. They both suck. I'm telling you this right now. They both suck. The Jets, for surely suck.
Here's the thing. Zach Wilson, I don't think is a bad quarterback, and I think he has the potential to be very good. But he's on the Jets right now. So he's going to struggle. The Jets should expect that, though. I don't know what the Jets would be expecting there.
What was the score of the Panthers-Jets game?
19-14.
19-14. NFL games, the new way that the NFL is shaped, you should score at least 28 points every game. The way that the NFL is, they want you to score points. So if you can't score 20 points in a game.
Yeah.
That shows me a lot right there.
One thing. Oh, go right.
The
go ahead.
Panthers. Christian McCaffrey is still the entire offense. It still doesn't look like
they're over relying on him a little bit, I think.
And the defense is not very trustworthy. The Jets shouldn't have even scored a point, in all honesty. The Jets don't have any weapons, really, on offense. They have nothing.
Corey Davis had a good game, though. Yeah. As being a number one receiver now. 5 receptions, 97 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I got to say that I would think that the Jets have the worst roster in the league.
I do.
Yeah, the Jets have the worst roster, so there's no reason that they should even score on you guys.
Here's what this game proves. Sam Darnold had a good opening game with the Panthers. 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, 279 yards passing on a big touchdown to Robbie Anderson. Sam Darnold was never the problem. He never was. We know this. The Jets should have known this. So they made the move because they think Zach Wilson's going to be a bigger talent.
No.
But here's the one thing I'm going to say. If Sam Darnold starts to have a good career in Carolina, and Zach Wilson struggles the same way Sam Darnold did because it's not a good roster.
People are going to look at the Jets and be like, you guys.
They messed up. Because now they wasted 2 first-round picks, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The next game, Browns-Chiefs.
This isn't a troll. This was a great game. This was an amazing game. Now, the Chiefs, we already know what the Chiefs can do. They can beat you if they're down by 30.
Yep.
The Browns, at the same time, what they tried to do. They took the lead off jump.
And then
they tried to just
They
run
did
the
it with
ball.
a great running game and great play-action passing from Baker Mayfield.
I like him a lot. Now, also remember, they barely lost this game without Odell Beckham. Exactly. Who could come out this year and be a great receiver.
And the defense is still developing. They got the pieces now. I think it just takes time to develop. I think we both had the Chiefs. No, you had the Browns to win this game.
I had the Browns to win this game.
I had the Chiefs. But the one thing I'm going to say now, I'm going to double down on it actually now. The Browns will play the Chiefs again in Kansas City, and we'll take them out.
The Browns should have won this game.
You know what type of game it's going to be? It's going to be similar to how the Titans took out the Ravens a couple years ago. It's going to be a shocker, and they're going to handle them. Yes.
Lightweight.
Yes. No, I do. I 100% think so. You know why? Because I think that defense will make the same mistakes. Like that touchdown to Tyreek Hill was just a horrible defensive play by John Johnson, who's still a good safety, but just a horrible play. I don't expect John Johnson to make plays like that.
It's Tyreek at the same time.
Of course.
He's hard to go.
Of course. But I don't expect the Browns to make those same mistakes defensively.
I think they're going to be smoking on that Chief pack, for real.
I double down in the divisional round. Cleveland will go into Kansas City and take them out. 100%. Just because they lost this game, I'm not going to... No. The Browns showed that they have the potential. They're still developing. They didn't have a full season as just kind of merging together as a team. You saw by the end of the year, they really started to get into the rhythm. I think now a full season in that kind of understanding who they are with that identity, they're going to take out Kansas City. This is just the first game. To move on, Dolphins-Patriots. As I predicted, Dolphins defense is one of the best in the league. People might underrate it, but I think it's still one of the best top 5 defenses in the league. They showed it because they shut down the Patriots offense, forcing 2 turnovers too from their running back.
One thing I liked was Mac Jones seems very calm in the pocket.
He seems poised.
Yeah, I understand what they meant now.
Yeah,
because he
fits good
has
in their system.
Pressure coming at him. And like I said with Ben Roethlisberger, he doesn't really seem to care.
Yeah,
he's gonna take the hit and still throw a good pass.
Yeah,
he has size on him, and also he has confidence in himself.
If he has a good pocket, we know he has a good passer. We saw it in college. The only thing is, how would he deal with the pressure? And you know what? He's looking pretty good. Maybe it was a good decision to move on from Cam Newton to go to him because...
the release, I don't understand 100%.
Yeah.
But I understand Mac Jones being the starter.
Because he's young and he looks ready. So then you're just going to give him... You're just kind of wasting him, benching him for that long, you know?
Yeah.
He's getting time and he's looking good. In the end, though, the Dolphins' defense is really what I'm riding on. That defense is really good. And I think Tua and Jalen Waddle had a good first game.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get time to develop.
Jalen Waddle's going to be good.
They're gonna be good. They're just got to develop a little more. But I still think they're a playoff team. Other hand, my last big surprise, the Packers.
Aaron! Are you serious right now? Aaron, look at me. Look at me, Aaron. Are we serious? You said The Last Dance. I'm thinking, oh, yeah, we going to come out 400 passing yards. Devontae has 200 yards. I'm the real Devontae. He going to show Devontae Smith how to get some yards. But guess what? They threw 0 touchdowns. 0 touchdowns.
Well, they had 0 touchdowns, just period.
Are you serious?
30. Okay.
Are we serious right now? I need to understand what we're doing here.
Let me give the stats. Jameis Winston, 14 of 20, 148 yards, surprisingly. Not too high on the passing yards, but 5 touchdown passes for Jameis Winston. Alvin Kamara, your Offensive Player of the Year prediction, 83 yards rushing. He also had a receiving touchdown as well. Deontay Harris, 72 yards receiving and a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, 15 of 28, 133 yards passing and 2 interceptions. And this is technically, by many people, considered the worst game of Aaron Rodgers' entire career. Because nothing can match what we just saw from Aaron Rodgers.
The issue is, all right, the Saints' defense is not terrible.
No,
they're okay.
Here's the thing. I think we're underrating the Saints. I want to say that right now, before Travis gets in his little rant. The Saints. We're underrating the Saints because the Saints are still a playoff team. The only thing they lost was Drew Brees. I think people weren't expecting, if Jameis Winston were to play good, that the Saints team could possibly be better than the teams that they had before. Because, unfortunately for Drew Brees, as much of an intelligent passer, as much of an accurate passer as he was getting old. His arm was getting weak.
He couldn't throw.
And we could tell by the end of the season, when he got to playoff time, same with Big Ben, he wasn't able to throw the deep ball like he was early in the season. His arm was get tired throughout the season. Jameis Winston, a young arm, if he plays, and we know he could throw for 30 touchdowns in a season and 5,000 passing yards.
It just might be 30
It's just the interceptions. If he can turn down on the turnovers, we know Jameis Winston could be a great quarterback. So, we're seeing the potential. I'm not going to blow it out of proportion. But, just don't be surprised. I'll let Travis finish it off.
Now, guys, this is the issue, Dro. This is the issue that I have. This Aaron Rodgers is your man's, right? Don't you love Aaron Rodgers? You called him like your GOAT or something.
He's my GOAT.
Listen
Still
to
my
this.
GOAT.
Why is he losing 38-3? He's on the sideline smiling. He's literally sitting here like this, just. I'm gonna go be on the next episode of Jeopardy. I'm gonna go golfing tomorrow, probably.
A lot of people are saying that he threw this game on purpose.
Like, what is it called? The longest yard or something?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you throwing the games for us?
I don't think he did it on purpose.
I want to see a good game out of Aaron. How you just win MVP and you don't score 1 touchdown in your first game? Are we serious?
All right. I think they've had enough.
Damn.
One thing though, I gotta say, just don't blow it out of proportion. I think the Packers, this is gonna be they're gonna bounce back heavily against their next opponent. Better. We'll move on. We'll get to that point in a second. Broncos Giants. I'm a Giants advocate, but here's what I said. I said the Giants were gonna lose this game.
That's sad though. The Broncos are terrible.
Von Miller's back with 2 sacks. Bradley Chubb on that defense is good.
The defense is good.
And Teddy Bridgewater had a solid game. Can Teddy Bridgewater keep up that consistency? Who knows? But I think Teddy Bridgewater is actually a good quarterback. He's just been injured in most of his career.
I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is going to keep that up.
I think Teddy Bridgewater definitely has the potential to keep that up. It was a great game from Teddy Bridgewater. And here's the one thing I said. I'm high on the Giants. Also, they have Melvin Gordon as a running back, and I think Melvin Gordon is an explosive back. When he gets on his stride.
They have good receivers too.
Yeah. Jerry Jeudy will be out for a little bit.
The O-line
is questionable.
Very questionable.
But here's the thing. For the Broncos, don't be surprised if the Broncos keep this up because they do have a good roster. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, the Giants, I said they're going to lose this game, but I still think they're going to win the division. Why? I think they're going to develop, much like how they did at the end of the season last year. They're going to figure themselves out. And they are a dangerous team because of that defense with Logan Ryan and Adoree Jackson, James Bradbury, Leonard Williams. So watch out still.
We'll see.
We'll see. I still think it's going to pan out. Rams Bears.
Great game.
This
is your MVP.
My MVP came out and had the best game out of any quarterback. Yes. He had a 158 passer rating. The highest you could have is 158.2. So Matthew Stafford had almost a perfect passer rating. no interceptions thrown, 321 yards passing, on 20 of 26 passing. That's an incredible percentage for a quarterback, and 3 passing touchdowns. 2 of them being deep balls, one to Van Jefferson, who's an underrated receiver going into his second year, and the next one being Cooper Kupp.
I do think Kyler Murray had a very great game.
Yes.
I'm not going to guarantee the Matthew Stafford, but he did have a great game.
Here's the thing. Kyler Murray did throw an interception.
He did.
And so he didn't have a perfect game. Matthew Stafford had a perfect game.
All right. I'll give that to you.
And Andy Dalton had an okay game.
No, that's the biggest story of this game. Andy Dalton is definitely worse than Justin Fields. I think what they're trying to do is the Bears are scared that Justin Fields can be injury prone because the Aaron Donalds and the Jalen Ramseys could get you hurt.
Well, they definitely saved him from the presence of Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald only statistically had 1 sack, but we know what Aaron Donald does. Aaron Donald does more than just the stats. With the double team, the triple teams that he brings, and he still got through and got a sack. Again, best defensive player of our generation. Jalen Ramsey had a solid game. Cooper Kupp had a great game.
I've been sleeping on you, Cooper.
I've said Cooper Kupp is a great receiver.
I'm sorry.
He's showing it with Matthew Stafford at the helm. Again, nothing against Jared Goff. I still think Jared Goff is actually a good quarterback. He gets a little too much hate.
No, he's not on Matthew Stafford's level.
But he's not on Matthew Stafford's level. No. And you know why? Because now all of a sudden we see with Matthew Stafford how much the offense just opens up with a guy like Matthew, with an arm talent like Matthew Stafford.
They didn't even have Cam Akers for this game.
And they won't even have Cam Akers for the season. But Darrell Henderson did a good job. 16 carries and 70 yards. A great average right there. And a touchdown as well. David Montgomery had a great game. 16 carries, 108 yards. David Montgomery seems to be taking that number 1 running back status. He's going to keep going with that, it seems like. But again, here's what I'm saying. My Rams are my Super Bowl champions, and Matthew Stafford's my MVP. Even as a Niner fan, it hurts to say that, but I just think the Rams are the best team in the NFL. So far, they look like it. Moving on. We're just going to go quickly here with our Week 2 predictions, and we're going to have 3 games that we're going to have as, locks. Guaranteed, 100%.
100% dubs. Beating dubs.
This team is winning. So, I'll start with you. Washington Giants, Thursday Night Football.
Washington.
I got Washington as well.
Giants suck. I'm sorry to say this. You guys suck right now.
I don't think
you guys got to get better over the season.
I think the Giants are going to get better over the season. I think Washington right now is better at the moment. I'm predicting Giants to get better later on. So, I got Washington here. Bears Bengals.
Bears Bengals. I'm going with the Bengals.
I'm going with the Bears. I think first of all, it's a good Bears defense still with Khalil Mack.
It's good, but they don't perform to the potential that they should.
Hold on, though. That Bengals O-line is bad. I think people are going to forget that.
They are pretty bad.
And it's Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack, what I feel about Khalil Mack is he comes when he wants to.
And he might have that chance.
He might be like, you know what, I want to come today.
Yeah.
And he might just say, you know what, I want to destroy this Bengals team, and he comes out and just destroys them. Or on the other hand, he could be like, I don't really care about this game, and he could just get maybe one.
Again, like we're saying, watch out. The Bengals could be spoilers. Remember, they're a team that you could catch off guard, that will catch you off guard, and could get you.
Don't sleep on Jamar Chase.
Don't sleep on him. But no, I still got the Bears. Bears are the better team. I think people might start overrating the Bengals, but they're still don't fall for it. Texans, Browns.
Definitely.
We don't even have to.
The Browns are my definite.
Yeah.
They're definitely gonna win this game. They're gonna destroy.
The
Texans.
They're gonna destroy the Texans. Texans are gonna be. Don't overrate the Texans. Next one, Rams, Colts.
Ooh, see, this is a good one. I'm going with the Rams.
This is my guarantee.
Oh.
The Rams are gonna go into Indianapolis and handle them.
Oh, you think this is a light game?
We playing patty cake. They're gonna not gonna blow them out like they did Chicago, but they're gonna be in control of the game.
Okay.
The Colts are still. I think the Colts need to still get in rhythm, especially offensively. Now the offense is going against an even better defense than the Rams. They only scored 16 against Seattle's defense. Now it's the Rams. It's gonna be a little rough for them. Bills, Dolphins. Bills.
I went with the Dolphins.
Wow. Surprising for you, seeing that you've been so against the Dolphins.
I went with the Dolphins. Now, surprisingly, the reason why I say this is because the Bills came out, and I didn't think that they played to the level that they were supposed to against the Steelers. So I do think that they're going to start off a little slow. And the Dolphins just came out pretty good. They came out pretty good. Jalen Waddle could still have a great game. And I think the Dolphins, it's going to be close, but the Dolphins will pull it out.
This is in Miami, to mention. But here's the thing. I'm riding very high on the Dolphins of being a playoff team, but I do think opposite, because the Bills came off a loss, they're going to come with a little bit of fire. Depends on how good that Dolphins defense plays, though.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think it's a great defense. Patriots, Jets, Patriots.
Definitely Patriots.
Patriots. The Jets are just...
Even though I think the Patriots are an average team, but...
The Patriots can make it still in the playoffs as a 7 seed. The Jets, at the best, can maybe get 2 wins.
5, 2?
2 at the best? 2 at the best?
2?
Am I wrong to say that?
I'll say 4. We'll give them 4.
No, we're not. I'm not being nice to these guys. I'm not trying to be modest. It's a bad roster. It's a bad roster.
Oh my god.
They have like some guys that stand out with Corey Davis and Jonathan May at safety, but no, it's a bad roster, dude. Next game, 49ers go into Philadelphia. Who do you got?
If you guys lose, now this is the thing. I was gonna say that this was a definite blowout.
Yeah, but
Jalen Hurts came out and he showed
good.
that he could do something. So I'm gonna give the 49ers a dub.
Not a guarantee.
But it's not a guarantee.
I will agree with you on that one. Raiders Steelers.
This is not a guarantee. But I will say this. The Raiders beat a lot of teams in the beginning of the year. If this game was at the end of the year, I'm definitely putting the Steelers. But at the beginning of the year, we always seem to beat these good teams. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders. This is another tight game, and we pull it out in the end.
I will have to say Steelers because I think the Steelers are a top 2 defense in the NFL, especially how they looked against the Bills and they shut down Josh Allen. I think Carr could struggle a little bit with T.J. Watt coming around the edge as well as Melvin Ingram. That defense is just...
Alex Leatherwood did not look good in this game.
I think the Raiders' defense is showing that they have potential to be a top 10 defense. But even if they stop the Steelers... We saw it happen against the Bills. That Steelers defense is so good that they'll just keep the Steelers into it until Roethlisberger gets in rhythm.
Tire everybody out.
And Roethlisberger gets in rhythm.
Watch out for Henry Ruggs this game. I think he'll just destroy them.
They need to throw to him more, I do think. Saints Panthers.
I got the Saints.
I got the Saints.
Saints look amazing in week 1. You can't really go against them.
No, it'd be hard to go against them against the Panthers. I still think the Panthers aren't horrible. But I don't think they're on the Saints level. That Saints defense is definitely much better than the Jets defense. Yeah. And I think that Saints defense can definitely be the ones to shut down Carolina.
Saints definitely had one of the best week 1 games out of everybody.
Yes. Broncos, Jaguars. Broncos.
The Jaguars is terrible. Trevor Lawrence is terrible right now.
Trevor Lawrence is going to have a rough season, I think.
Yeah.
Vikings, Cardinals.
Cardinals all the way.
Cardinals.
This is one of my cakewalk.
I had the Cardinals. I don't understand why I hesitated, but actually they're my guarantee too.
Yeah,
I still don't know why they hesitated. Because I want to say, because if I did have the Vikings as a playoff team, I still do. But again, just because you're a playoff team doesn't mean you're on the level of any of these other teams.
Cardinals could beat any team. And by that I mean any team. Chiefs, Bucks, whoever you want. They can beat
so
any
far
of them.
with the roster, it'd be hard for me to disagree with you. Falcons, Bucks.
Bucks, this is a guarantee. This is one of my 100%ers.
Guaranteed.
The Bucks win. The Falcons didn't show me anything.
I wouldn't be able to disagree with that one. Let's move on. Cowboys, Chargers.
This is a good game.
I think this might be a game of the week.
This is a game of the week. I'm going to go with the Cowboys, though.
I am, too.
Yeah, because...
I think the Cowboys are a more complete team than the Chargers still. And especially with how Dak Prescott looks.
Those receivers are just so hard. You can't guard all 3 of them.
You can't guard. Gallup might be out for the game, but still, you still have Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. So Gallup's out, and then all of a sudden you still got 2 other.
And then you just want to guard the receivers? Then Zeke is going to destroy
you.
And
let's see if Zeke can get in rhythm this game. Next game, Titans Seahawks.
This game is kind of like I went for the Seahawks.
I went for the Titans because Seattle plays down to their opponent's level. Yeah. And also, Tennessee.
Came off a terrible game.
And don't be surprised if they come with a good game plan and a little bit of motivation because they didn't just lose. They got embarrassed by the Cardinals in their home.
While watching the game, it really seemed like Julio ain't got it like that no more. All honesty.
Let's see. Let's see if he gets in rhythm a little bit because, he did come off an injury last year as well. So let's see.
It didn't look too good.
Chiefs, Ravens in Baltimore.
Baltimore.
I got
Stupid.
This might come as a surprise, but I wanted to save it for a bit of a bold prediction. Guaranteed that the Chiefs are winning this game.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not going. Guaranteed that the Chiefs are winning this game with Marcus Peters out in that secondary, and Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Travis Kelce. It's going to be a rough day for Baltimore, I think.
Now, the thing that I would say about Baltimore, when you watch the game, with the team that they have right now, literally Lamar has to do everything. If he doesn't have a good game, they get blown out.
Mm-hmm. And they'll game plan for that. The Chiefs will game plan for that.
They're literally just going to, if you send pressure at Lamar, have him get tired, it's over. So I definitely got the Chiefs as well.
Lions, Packers. If I were to put a fourth guarantee, I'd put it down for the Packers. Again, which seems crazy, but let's not blow it out of proportion. They had a bad game. We saw Tampa Bay. Wait, hold on. But, let's just talk about last year. Let's use last year. Tampa Bay, in the first game of the season, got blown out by New Orleans.
At the same time, Tampa Bay was a new team, though. They were all new.
Of course. But in the end, it's just still week one. You know what I mean? And actually, even when they weren't a new team, they hosted New Orleans and had a worse game. Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions that game. And we called it and we considered it over. What do they do in the playoffs? They go into New Orleans and beat them. Let's not blow it out of proportion. The Packers are still a good team. Defensively, I think that defense is overhyped. I think the only guy that they really truly have is Jair Alexander. And you could consider Zadarius Smith a solid guy, but I don't think that.
But he's not.
He's not what people are hyping him up to be. I don't think. Zadarius Smith is still good though. He's actually still very good, but
I have the Packers as
he's
well.
He's not top 10
because the Lions are nothing to me. They don't have Jared Goff is not talented enough to carry this team.
To carry that bad roster. Yeah. It is a bad roster.
Yeah.
And in the end, here's the thing: Packers coming off a bad loss, come up with some energy to host the Lions in Monday night.
Can we just say this one more time? Jared Goff, you almost just beat the Niners, bro. This is the Super Bowl team because they didn't have a team last year.
Yeah.
You could have beat a Super Bowl caliber team last drive and you sold. So.
But that's when the starters came in, and that's a rough defensive line going against the Lions.
You gotta push through and figure out a way though.
I get what you're saying, but it's rough when you got that O-line and those receivers to throw to. Either way, I think, yes, Packers 100%. But I guess we'll just have to find out and wait to see in week 2 how this all plays out. But so far, we're going to do a final count for our predictions. The final count is based on our predictions from last week. Right now, I lead 10-9 on my predictions.
It's pretty even right now.
Though.
I think that...
And we kind of have similar predictions this week, but we vary in some. So these varying games are going to determine who takes the lead. So through the long run, which we'll find out through the season, we're going to do our count every time. Mm-hmm. We're going to see who wins at the end of the season. And who knows? Maybe we'll have a little winner. Well, maybe we'll have something for the loser.
Maybe a little challenge.
Maybe a little challenge for the loser. Yeah. But either way, we want to thank you for tuning into this episode of Heavily Contested. Thank you for sticking all the way through if you did.
Make sure you watch the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
Of course, I want to thank my co-host, Travis Dampierre. And we'll see you guys next time.